Welcome once again to How to Relate to Anyone. Here is Dr. Orv Owens.
Well, welcome back. We're going to continue where we left off, basically, looking at the subconscious mind and the brain, conscious mind, subconscious, preconscious, and the outflow of that, which is your personality, your performance, your presence. All those things are an outflow of subconscious attitudinal beliefs. So I want to do a little bit of review from last week's program, and then we'll go into how to reprogram the subconscious mind. You might think, why do I want to do that? It's very easy. How many things do you do or have habits that are not desirable? How often have you said to yourself, I need to change that. I need to lose weight. I need to exercise more. I need to. Any of the I need tos is your conscious mind correcting poor behavior and maybe poor health. Listen to it. Listen to your mind. It's telling you something. And then you do something about it. And that's what we're going to be looking at in this lesson. But last week we talked about every decision is registered in the subconscious mind, and the outflow of that information is who you are. Whether it's positive or negative. The more negatives you pour in, the more negative you will be as a person. The more positive you pour into your subconscious mind, more positive you will be. Well, I hear people say, I just hate positive people. They just drive me crazy. Well, the only reason they drive you crazy is because you measure yourself up against them and you're not near that positive. And you don't like yourself very well. I mean, you don't tell anybody else that, but there's things about you that you just don't like. Why do I do that all the time? Here I go again. I'm pausing there so you can shake your head on that one. We all have a, there I go again type thing that we have to work on. And so that's what we're talking about, is how you work on you. To what degree? It's up to you. You know, you're the controller of your destiny. You're the person who can be what you want to be and can achieve what you want to achieve and can learn what you want to learn. There are no limits. Really no limits, because we use so little of our brain as average people. You know, we're using so small amount of the brain cells. If you double it, you're still not a world killer. So you can increase your productivity, your abilities and capabilities by challenging yourself to become more effective in some of these areas. And your mind controls that. Your mind controls your temperature, your body. Your mind controls your whole autonomous nervous system is controlled by your mind. And so your ability to control the controller, stay in control in your life instead of being out of control, is in your hands. And that's what we're talking about. How do you use the brain rather than abuse it? It's interesting, we start at a very young age abusing. I'm not very good at that. I'm really weak in that area. Never was very good at that. I look in the mirror and break the mirror. My hair looks terrible. See, I don't have that problem. I don't have a problem with my hair being terrible because it waved goodbye some years back. But that's life, isn't it? And I hear the ads about hair transplants and all that stuff. I got better places to spend my money, and if my bald head bothers somebody, they need to be bothered. That's good for them. I can be the one they take a shot at. So every thought is a decision, and every decision has impact upon who we are as a person. And so turning natural abilities into capabilities is all part of choosing or making the decision to be a productive and creative person. You know, we have so much natural ability that we haven't tapped. And you can't even fathom what it would be like to use 50% of your natural abilities. It's hard to fathom. And some of the people who set the world on fire with tremendous creativity and productivity and so on have maybe doubled or tripled the use of their brain cells and their creativity and their positive impact by working at it every day. Listening to yourself. When you say, I'm not very good at that, I need to change that to say, I have not developed that ability into a capability. You have the natural abilities, it's God-given. If you don't believe in God, it's the human DNA. You have tremendous natural abilities, but it's your responsibility to turn them into capabilities. And it's all done with your thought processes. So, turning natural abilities into capabilities is a day-by-day, moment-by-moment process. You don't do it in 24 hours. You don't just pull the plug. You have to. You have to work on it. And so, negative decisions destroy your growth. Positive decisions cause you to stretch and grow. So, maintaining a right attitude and talking about the fears that enter our mind and so on, as we did in the last lesson, it's vitally important that you conquer the fears and the debilitating thought processes that hold you back, cause you to not be everything you can be. So all decisions create a thought process that manifests itself in either developing you or causing you to fall short. Your personality is a sum total of what you have programmed into your subconscious mind in a lifetime, from birth till right now. So if you have a stinking personality, change. You have that control. You are the dictator of your own thought processes. We were given by God, in my opinion, we were given by God free moral agency. We can think anything we want to think, and we do. And some thoughts are not acceptable to anybody in our world. Pause there so you can think about that for a moment, because you have thought thoughts this week that you don't want anybody to know that you thought. Ha ha ha, I know. That'll teach you. Or as one of my kids said, that'll learn you. The positive principles are, I can become anyone I choose to become. That's a positive principle. And we feed that into the mind on a repetitive basis, and it becomes a reality. Turning natural abilities into capabilities. Vitally important. So we're going to look at the brain diagram again, and looking at the 5 senses that feed the conscious mind. What are you putting into the conscious mind? Because what goes into the conscious mind becomes permanent in the subconscious mind. What are you saying about you? How are you acting and reacting to given situations, circumstances, and life changes? I mean, do you identify with mistakes, or do you identify mistakes? If you identify with mistakes, you say, I'm just not very good at that. If you identify mistakes, you say, I'm going to have to work on getting that right. Luckily, Thomas Edison identified with mistakes. He identified mistakes rather than identified with mistakes. And he created the light bulb. Every creativity, every bit of creativity in our world, and it's happening faster every generation. Creative things happening that just blow your mind. come from believing that if I keep trying, if I keep working at this, if I keep applying myself, I'm going to get there. And so we have to use the 5 senses, taste, touch, smell, sight, and hearing, to feed right thinking into the conscious mind, and that is digested down into the subconscious mind. Now, a first diagram we want to show you on the screen right now is a decision made subconsciously. Let's say that decision is, I'm not very good at that. Doesn't matter what it is, but I'm not very good at that. And what we want to do now then is a little bit of brainwashing. And see, brainwashing is really great if it's self-imposed. If somebody else is brainwashing you, that's not all that good. But you can brainwash yourself by what you choose to put into your subconscious mind. So we're going to say, I'm not very good at that. And we're going to change that to say, I can do all things. This Bible verses says that. So for you that are Bible students, you can plug in that Bible verse. I can do that. I have the natural abilities to do that. I'm just working at developing it into a creative ability, a ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and do it right. The more you put that thought into your subconscious mind, the more it dilutes the effect of the negative that's there. The negative is not going to go away. Brainwashing is not washing things out, it's washing a wash that covers the negative. So with one statement, I can do this, that puts an input in the subconscious mind and dilutes the effect of the negative, I can't do that. I saw a guy paint at a department store in Portland, Oregon. He was an artist, and he came into the art department where they sell paints and so on, oils and acrylics and so on. And I was 14 years old, and I watched this guy splash paint around, and all of a sudden it was a picture. And I mean in a half an hour. I can do that, and I've been painting ever since. And I've said that before in this program because it's vitally important you understand that if you put yourself out there and do something rather than talk about doing something, you'll start developing the skill levels that it takes to be proficient. Am I an artist? I don't think so. I'm a painter. Splash paint around until it looks right. That's basically what I do. So I put in my mind, if he can do that, splash paint around, it looks like trees and mountains and whatever, I think I can do that. And so I did. And I've been doing it ever since. And I'm right in the middle of a painting right now of a mountain with a reflection down into the lake and a waterfalls. How can I do that? I literally reprogrammed the subconscious mind to believe I could paint. If that guy can splash paint around, it looks like something I can splash paint around. That I can do. I sung in a singing group for all my adult life, basically, until just recent years, because my quartet guys all died. Sad. They literally, in the last 3 years, all 3 of the other of my quartet passed away. I'm hanging in there myself. I can still sing solos, I guess. But we had to work every week. We practiced for 3 to 4 hours, getting our songs down so they were right. All the parts were right, and the blend was there, and all the things. It didn't come easy. It never is. It just takes work. But the more you program the right thoughts into your subconscious mind, look at this next diagram, how much of the negative has been covered by positive input. And that's the way it works. And there's no shortcut. I was talking to one of our staff members here about weight loss. You start programming into your mind what you weigh. I weigh 225 pounds. 225 pounds. That's me. Now, if I stepped on the scale right now, I might be a little more than that. But that's where I'm going, because I feel at my best at 225. I'm 6 foot tall, 225, I can carry that weight. I'm an old man, so I don't have to be built. I'm built for comfort now instead of muscles. Anyway, the whole concept is this: what you choose to believe, you will achieve. But how do you have to brainwash yourself. You literally have to do repetition. You have to say it over and over. And every time you say, I'm not very good at that, oh, bite your tongue. I can do all things. Whatever I choose to do, whatever I put my mind to, I can achieve. And it's true. You don't know what you can do until you do it. When you learned to ride a bicycle, it took you a few tries. And it's true in every area of your life. And understand, I don't care what your age is, I'm old. I don't think I'm old, but I look in the mirror and I'm old. This face has wore out several bodies. And so I have to say to myself, you can do this. Just work at it. Repetition. Repetition of thought. Be creative in thinking. Create a way to achieve what you want to achieve. And as you look at these diagrams, look at the last diagram. There's so much positive put into the subconscious mind in this diagram that the outflow, the you, the person you are, is that person. And all of a sudden now you do those things without thinking about it. It becomes habitual. The things you thought you could never learn to do, you're doing it now. You've found this true in getting promotions at work, or going on a job and learning a whole new skill level. I would tell you, you've had enough experience of learning things. You should have also learned that you can learn anything. What do you want to learn? There's people who will teach you to do that stuff, and that's their profession, in fact. And there's books and there's all kinds of help out there to achieve whatever you want to achieve in your life. Don't allow yourself to freeze at a disappointing level of personal productivity. It's vitally important. And I would also tell you that if you feed positives into your employees' minds, they'll stretch to meet your expectations. If you feed positives to your clients, if you're a salesperson, they will stretch to meet your expectations. You can lead people into productivity. You can lead people into sales by positive repetition. Say the things that it takes for them to be able to identify with where you're going with your product or with your service or with the project or whatever. Vitally important. And it's called productivity and personal development. And it's in your hands. Check this out again. Go through these diagrams and take a look at how you reprogram the subconscious mind by brainwashing yourself. Brainwashing is a negative statement in most cases, but if you're doing it yourself in a positive way, that's where you go. I have found that I can achieve any goal that I set for myself if I keep it fresh in my mind. The ones I never achieve are the ones I say I'd like to one of these days, and one of these days never comes. But I would tell you, as a leader, you need to be constantly challenging yourself to become a more effective leader. Be more communicative. Lift and elevate your employees so they stretch to meet your expectation. As a salesperson, I can close sales because I can relate to my clients and I can understand their values and present my product or service based upon their value system. Too many salespeople sell from their own values. Too many managers manage from their own management style. Successful people do what unsuccessful people fail to do, and what they do is the right thing to create growth. Personal growth, growth in employees, increase in closing ratio in sales. I challenge you to feed your mind right thoughts, and you'll see the results.